What a surprise! July 28th marked another moment of devastation for Ukraine with the largest combined airstrike since the beginning of the conflict. What fate must be endured in the Khmelnytskyi region? Don't go anywhere. We'll dive deeper. The night of July 28th left a resounding echo of loud explosions heard from afar, marking the intensity of the ongoing events. Did you hear that sound? On that day, Russia launched a massive attack on Ukraine, deploying a total of 331 attack aircraft, including 324 attack drones of various types such as Jiran and imitation drones. These attacks were launched from various points in Russia, including Bryansk, Kursk, Oryol, Milarovo, Shatalovo, and Primorsko-Akhtarsk, demonstrating the scale and complexity of coordination. The use of drones in this conflict has become a central element in Russia's military strategy. Kamikaze-type drones, such as the Shahed-136, also known as Geranium-2, are designed to carry explosive payloads that detonate upon contact with their target, destroying both the target and the drone itself. When launched in large, wave-like numbers, they can approach targets from various directions with low-altitude flights, making them difficult to detect by radar and avoid anti-aircraft fire in Ukraine. This makes it challenging for Ukrainian forces to respond effectively, as their air defense capacity is limited when facing such large-scale, simultaneous attacks. The imitation drones deployed by Russia have another strategic role. They serve as decoys, tricking Ukraine's air defense systems into wasting ammunition and diverting attention from the real explosive-laden drones. This tactic increases the chances of the attack drones breaking through defenses and hitting their intended targets. Meanwhile, Ukraine's defenses are facing a tough challenge in fending off these massive strikes. Despite their best efforts using anti-drone systems and air defense missiles, some drones still manage to break through. This shows that despite intensive defense efforts, vulnerabilities remain as Russia continues to deploy large-scale attacks with increasingly advanced drone technology and tactics. In this largest airstrike, primarily in the Starokostiantynov area, it wasn't just weapons like drones that were deployed. The drone's counterparts were also involved. Typically, in large airstrikes, these weapons become the main stars. In the skies of Saratov, Russia, 4 Kh-101 cruise missiles were launched with high precision, targeting strategic sites in Ukraine. The Ukrainian Air Defense Forces, known for systems like the US Patriot, NASAMS, and Iris-T, responded swiftly but appeared disoriented in the face of this assault. This raises the question, what more can they deploy? If these air defense systems could speak, they might show signs of distress and panic over the situation. Ukraine has mobilized almost all of its best capabilities, ranging from fighter jets, anti-aircraft missile troops, mobile firing units, electronic warfare units, to drones. Yet the attack still caused confusion and difficulty. Are the Kh-101 cruise missiles that terrifying? The answer is yes. The Kh-101 is a serious threat to the Western air defense systems in Ukraine. This missile is a Russian strategic cruise weapon designed with stealth technology, making it nearly undetectable until it gets close to its target. With an extremely long range and the ability to carry high-precision warheads, the Kh-101 can strike key targets without being effectively detected by radar. This makes conventional air defense systems like the Patriot and NASAMS extremely difficult to completely eliminate the threat. What went wrong in Ukraine's response to the Kh-101 missiles? Essentially, the NATO air defense systems sent to Ukraine were designed to counter different threats. The Kh-101, with its low-flying profile, cruising speed, and radar jamming capabilities, challenges technologies that are better suited to deal with missiles and aircraft with different characteristics. Even advanced equipment is insufficient if coordination and early detection are not optimal. Additionally, the limited number and distribution of defense systems across a vast battlefield, as well as the lack of full integration in the command system, left gaps for the Russian cruise missiles to breach the defense. Russia itself continues to develop tactics with the release of flares and heat traps that can divert Ukraine's anti-aircraft missile threats, allowing the Kh-101 to strike its intended targets effectively. This situation clearly underscores the superiority of Russian technology and military tactics in utilizing the Kh-101 as a primary weapon in precision strikes. Meanwhile, Ukraine's air defense system, despite being complete and modern, has not yet fully adapted to these emerging threats. Wait a moment, the story is not over yet. Russia has deployed the Kinzhal, a hypersonic missile with extraordinary capabilities, in its attacks on Ukraine. This missile can travel at speeds of up to Mach 10. In this operation, Russia launched 3 Kinzhal air-launched ballistic missiles from the Lipetsk airspace. With such numbers and speed, the Kinzhal missile became a serious threat to Ukraine's air defense, which was struggling to cope with this simultaneous assault. From a military strategy perspective, Russia takes pride in the Kinzhal for its remarkable speed and penetration power. The missile is not only difficult to detect by radar due to its hypersonic speed and unpredictable maneuvering, but it is also capable of carrying either conventional or nuclear warheads. This advantage enables precise long-range strikes that can effectively destroy targets with heavy layered defenses, such as air bases and important military facilities, which were previously difficult to reach with conventional weapons. The attack, involving the Kinzhal along with hundreds of drones and other missiles, continued into the morning, hitting various key Ukrainian facilities, including the airport in Kyiv. Other infrastructure in Kyiv, Khmelnytskyi, Dnipro, and Odessa were also targeted. Widespread fires and damage occurred in districts and vital facilities, including ports and power plants, showing the extensive impact of the attack. By 9:30 a.m. Kyiv time, Ukraine's air defense forces were still struggling to counter the wave of attacks, indicating the immense pressure they faced from multiple directions with high-speed and high-volume assaults. Looking back on the night of the attack, air raid sirens blared 3 times across Ukraine, signaling a threat that lasted for more than 5 hours in some regions. This situation underscores how the Ukrainian air defense forces were in an extremely difficult position, as the attacks came simultaneously from various types of weapons with different capabilities. From fast hypersonic missiles and precision cruise missiles to numerous and flexible drones, the strategy of simultaneous strikes from various directions with advanced weaponry was clearly designed to overwhelm Ukraine's defense response and create chaos, maximizing the damage. So, what do you think about this situation? Leave your thoughts and thanks for watching.